Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie, and today I'm going to be presenting Fat Won't Make You Fat. All right, so to begin the presentation, we're going to start with a short meditation. Mental health plays a role in weight management because we tend to overeat when we feel stressed or overly emotional. So this is a great way to kind of develop that body-mind connection. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and please follow along.
So sitting comfortably, just taking a big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you breathe in, noticing how the body expands. As you breathe out, just watching the body soften as you gently close the eyes. And rather than the mind leading the breath, allow the breath to lead the mind. Notice the sensation of the breath. Notice it where you feel it in the body. If you need to, you can just gently place your hand on the stomach. And just following that rising and falling sensation. Nothing else to do. Allowing thoughts to come and go. And when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes again.
Okay, now we are going to move on. So taking your own blood pressure at home. So if you have a blood pressure cuff at home, please follow along if you would like. If you don't have a blood pressure cuff, this is always just good to know just in case you do ever get one. Blood pressure is important to weight management because it is correlated with stress. We have busy lives nowadays, kids, work, school, we have it all. So this is very important to keep up on your blood pressure and make sure it is within normal limits. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and if you're able to, please follow along.
Here's how to take your blood pressure at home. Before you begin, 2 hours before, no alcohol or eating. 30 minutes before, no tobacco, caffeine, or exercise. First, sit down and relax in a chair that has a back. Uncross your legs, put your feet flat on the floor, and keep your back straight. Wait 5 minutes before beginning and try not to talk during this time. Take your log sheet and pen out so that you are ready to record your measurements. Grab your blood pressure monitor, set up the cuff per its instructions, and make sure your arm is out straight and supported on a flat surface. Begin taking your blood pressure and make sure there are no distractions or talking during this time. After the reading is complete, wait 1 minute, then measure a second. If your blood pressure is high, repeat the reading a third time and record the lowest of the two. Finally, record your measurements in your blood pressure log. Be sure to contact your physician if you have any questions or concerns regarding your blood pressure readings.
All right, thank you guys. Now that we're done with that, if you want to write your blood pressure down, that way you have it for your own record, go ahead and do so now. We are going to move on into why you need fat in your diet. So fat is a major source of concentrated energy with 9 kcals per gram. Carbs and protein only have 4 kcals per gram. So in comparison, fat is just much more concentrated source of energy. It helps overall the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins and minerals. It helps to build cell membranes. It makes up the sheath surrounding nerve endings. It is essential for blood clotting and muscle movement. Vitamin K, specifically for blood clotting, plays a role in inflammation. Specifically, omega-3 fatty acids help to reduce inflammation in the body. And we have the recommended intake at 20 to 35% of calories for the day should be coming from fat. Okay, so on to different types of fat. First, we have trans fat. So there's no safe level of consumption for trans fat. Trans fat is created by a process called hydrogenation. It's turning oil into solid fat. Eating this type of fat will increase the bad cholesterol in your body and reduce the good cholesterol in your body. It initially became popular as a replacement for butter because it is less expensive and has a longer shelf life. It gained even more popularity in the 1980s when there was a trend to reduce saturated fats in the diet. At the time, trans fats seemed like the way to go, but we later learned that trans fats are actually more harmful for your body than saturated fats. Because of this, it is now banned in the United States. This started in 2015, giving everyone a deadline of 2018 to remove all trans fat from any products on the market in the United States. It is important to note that legally, if there is 0.5 or less grams of trans fat per serving, they can legally round down to 0. So look out for certain words in the ingredient list, such as partially hydrogenated oils, and shortening. This all means that there's trans fat present. However, as I mentioned, this is banned in the United States, so this should not be an issue, but it is important to know those little facts just in case. Okay, on to saturated fat. So saturated fat is solid at room temperature usually. This includes products like whole milk, cheese, and red meat. As you can see on the visual on the top right, saturated fat is a long carbon chain with every single carbon saturated with hydrogen atoms. It can drive up the bad LDL cholesterol, so that's important to note. Because of this, it should be consumed in moderation, being at 10% of total calories. An example would be if you're eating a 2,000 calorie diet, it means 200 calories should come from saturated fat. This translates to about 22 grams, which in food terms is about 4 ounces of meat or 4 mozzarella cheese sticks. All right, now that we're done with those, we're going to move on to the beneficial types of fat. So unsaturated fat. So we have monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat. The main difference in these is the structure. So as you can see on the left bottom, the monounsaturated only has 1 double bond. And on the right, the polyunsaturated fat has 2 or more double bonds in the carbon chain. Monounsaturated fats are typically liquid at room temperature. They have the ability to help prevent heart disease and keep a good balance of good and bad cholesterol in the blood. Examples of these are olive oil, peanut oil, avocado, and most nuts. And polyunsaturated fat, these types of fats are essential. This means your body cannot make them on its own, so you need to be consuming them in your diet daily. Examples of these are corn oil and sunflower oil. Okay, on to omega-3 fatty acids. So these types of fats are very beneficial to the body. It is a type of polyunsaturated fat, meaning it has 2 or more double bonds in the carbon chain. So many benefits: helps prevent and treat heart disease and stroke, reduces blood pressure, raises good cholesterol, lowers triglycerides, fights depression and anxiety, promotes brain health, fights inflammation in the body. As we know, inflammation can have a negative impact on your body long term, so this is very important. It improves joint and bone health. The recommendation of daily intake is 0.6 to 1.2%. So where can you find omega-3 fatty acids? So the main one is fatty fish. This includes salmon, mackerel, sardines, and non-meat sources are flax seeds and walnuts. And although it is important to be consuming enough fatty fish, it is important to note that certain fish do contain a lot of mercury, which can become toxic long term. So try to avoid those types of fish, such as sea bass and swordfish. It is recommended, if you do not, 2 servings per week of fatty fish will provide the omega-3 fatty acid intake that you need. If you're not meeting that through your diet, supplementation may be a good option for you. Always check with your doctor first, but go ahead and consider that if you're not consuming it in your diet. Okay, so I just have a couple slides on how to upgrade certain meals. So if you need a topping for your toast, maybe opt for an avocado instead of butter. Butter isn't necessarily bad for you in moderation, as long as it's within that 10% of your daily calories. However, that avocado is just going to give you the added benefits of consuming an unsaturated fatty acid, fiber, just a lot. It's going to provide more benefits for you. Keep in mind that a serving of avocado is 50 grams, or about 1/3 of the avocado. All right, looking for a protein for dinner. So maybe try to incorporate more fatty fish, such as salmon, instead of that red meat. Red meat, again, isn't necessarily bad for you. It is recommended by the American Heart Association to consume no more than 6 ounces a day. And when you are consuming it, consider choosing low-fat options like round steaks or roast, top sirloin, and arm roast. It is also important to try to find beef that is 90%, 92% fat-free and 8% fat, and to trim that excess fat off before cooking it. With that being said, salmon is going to provide the extra omega-3 fatty acid, which provides so many benefits, as we learned previously. Okay, snack time. So a lot of us want to run to those potato chips, but keep in mind that these are most of the time empty calories, meaning you have a lot of calories with not too much nutrients. On the flip side, nuts contain unsaturated fatty acids, and if you're consuming walnuts, you even get the omega-3 fatty acids. It is important to note that nuts do provide benefits, but they are calorically dense, meaning they have a lot of calories for a small portion. Just 1 ounce has 160 to 200 calories, so make sure to consume nuts in moderation. Okay, now I have a recipe to show you guys. It only has a couple ingredients, super fast, and it's a great way to get that serving of fish into your diet. I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you guys.
You're so tasty.
Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make healthy lemon garlic salmon. This easy salmon recipe only requires a handful of ingredients to make it. It's ready in less than 15 minutes, and it's healthy too. Start by seasoning 4 salmon portions with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Pour 1 to 2 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil into a heavy skillet over medium-high heat. Make sure you have some crushed garlic, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and some freshly chopped dill ready to go, because things are going to move pretty quickly from here. Start by searing your salmon portions with the skin side up first, and we're going to let this cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Then we'll gently flip over our salmon and let it cook on the other side for about 2 minutes. Then I'm going to scoot the salmon portions to the side and clear some space in the middle, where I'm going to add in some crushed garlic. Let that saute in here, along with 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're going to let this garlic cook for about 1 minute. You don't want it to burn, you just want it to release its flavor. Then I just like to spoon some of the garlic and the juices over the top of each salmon portion. At this point, your salmon should be cooked through and flake easily with a fork. Turn off the heat, and last, we'll sprinkle on some freshly chopped dill. If you want, you can make things prettier and add in some sliced lemon to garnish, or you can just serve it as is. We are ready to eat.
All right, so that is a great recipe. It contains 42% of the polyunsaturated fat that you need for the day just in this one recipe, one serving. So that is a really good recipe to turn to. All right, and for summary. So overall, implementing healthy fat into your diet will improve your overall health. Saturated fat should be consumed, but in moderation. Polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fat will help cholesterol levels in the blood, leading to a decreased risk of heart disease and stroke. Fats can and should be implemented into a healthy, well-balanced diet. And if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out. Here are my references, and thank you guys very much.